Hello everybody, so I've come again for another walk in the dark woods, different woods this time, and today I'm sitting by a river, and the river is a section of the River Irwell, and it reminded me that we'd left Jeremiah waving the gorillas off on their steamboat on the river. I'm going to read chapter 4 now. Chapter 4 is called Fitzhenry IV. When he had dried his feet with his handkerchief, Jeremiah put on his socks and boots again and filled the pockets of his coat with peaches. There was no shortage of fruit in the dark woods. Peaches and oranges, cherries and plums, breadfruits even, all grew there and could be found by people who knew where to look. But Jeremiah expected to be crossing the river soon and leaving the woods behind. Fruit trees were less plentiful on the other side, he had heard, so he took the peaches. Jeremiah went on his way, whistling a little tune to himself and pausing now and then to skim a stone or two across the water. After a time, he came to an iron bridge decorated along its sides with iron roses and guarded at each end by pairs of iron dogs. Jeremiah stepped onto the bridge and saw at once that it was occupied. There, sitting on the handrail with its feet dangling over the side, was a young-looking frog. This frog had a tiny crown on its head and was holding a fishing rod out over the water. Jeremiah approached the frog. "My name is Jeremiah Obadiah Jackanory Jones," he said. "So what?" said the frog. "My name is Horatio Malvolio Gladiola Dunbar Darcy Fitzhenry IV. "I'm looking for the no-good robber who's taken my auntie's tarts," Jeremiah said. "Why ask me?" said the frog. "Do I look like I would be eating tarts? Anyway, I'm not some no-good robber. I am a prince. Besides all that, I never met your auntie." Suddenly the frog leaned back and heaved violently on his fishing rod. "A bite!" he said. "I've got a bite!" A small brown fish came up out of the water on the end of the line. Frantically, the frog reached out to grab it. Before he could do so, however, the fish said, "Good afternoon, nice day." And by opening its mouth to speak in this fashion, it let go of the line and plopped back into the water. "Blast it," said the frog. He stared angrily at Jeremiah. "That was your fault. You put me off." "I did no such thing," Jeremiah said, and he began to walk away from the frog towards the other end of the bridge. "Wait a minute," said the frog. "Where are you going?" He picked up a little tin of worms and swung the rod and line over his shoulder. "Never mind, I'll walk along with you for a while." Beyond the bridge there was an ornamental garden full of floral clocks and fountains, elaborately patterned flower beds, and birds and insects of every description. As Jeremiah and the frog strolled through the garden, the frog apologised for his bad temper. "I am upset somewhat from having been turned into a frog like this," he said. "I can understand that," Jeremiah said. "How did it happen?" "Oh, it was a malicious fairy," said the frog. "You know the kind. She didn't like me for some reason or other and turned me into a frog. Now the only hope I have of becoming a prince again is if some princess kisses me." The frog kicked moodily at the gravel path. "Fat chance of that." "Are there no princesses then hereabouts?" Jeremiah said. "Oh, there are princesses," said the frog. "Trouble is, most of them wouldn't kiss a frog if you paid them. Then again, princesses have problems of their own, being locked up in high towers by ogres and that kind of thing. Also, being sent fast asleep for hundreds of years at a time till some prince comes along and kisses them." "Like Sleeping Beauty, you mean?" said Jeremiah. "That's it," said the frog, "though some of them are not that beautiful if you ask me." He picked up a little stone from the path and threw it in the air. "There's one of them in here, you know." "What, a Sleeping Beauty?" Jeremiah said. "Yes, just over there." The frog waved his fishing rod in the direction of a small alabaster pavilion. This pavilion was glittering in the sunlight and shimmering also in the way buildings sometimes do when they have a spell on them. Then and the frog said, "Come and take a look." Inside the pavilion, Jeremiah found a great many cobwebs, a half-empty pop bottle with a straw in it, and a long glass box inside which a young woman was sleeping. "That's her," said the frog. "Been there 45 years, so they say." Jeremiah leaned over the box. "She looks very peaceful," he said. "So would you," said the frog, "if you'd been sleeping all that time. It's not like being turned into a frog, you know. That's where the real aggravation is. Ask anybody." When Jeremiah and the frog had left the pavilion and returned to the path, the frog said, "I'm going to leave you now. There is a story going round that the 7 dwarfs have a girl staying with them, name of Snow White. Well, you know how it is. Some people are saying she's really a princess, and I have been thinking for a day or two I should go over there and look into the matter. Of course, with my luck, she'll turn out not to be a princess at all, or, if she is, some witch will have been there first and put her to sleep." "Or changed her into a frog, perhaps," Jeremiah said. "Oh, don't say that," said the frog. At that moment, the 3 bears came racing out of a nearby shrubbery and charged across the path in front of Jeremiah and the frog. "Did you see her?" said the father bear. He was looking hotter and angrier than ever. "Who?" Jeremiah said. "That no-good, low-down female porridge stealer," said the father bear. But then, before Jeremiah could reply, the bears were off again, grunting and growling across the grass before disappearing once more among the beech trees and rhododendron bushes on either side of the garden. "Those bears are a long way from home," said the frog. "Yes," Jeremiah said, and after he had parted company with the frog, he thought to himself, "So am I."